Salvete discipuli et discipulae tertio anno. My hope in this video is to share with you, to describe and to explain the plan that I have for us for the week, and to model for you some of the skills you'll be practicing and mastering on Monday and Tuesday. I want all of you, all 10 of you, to jump ahead to chapter 10. For those of you who were with me last year, it was the last chapter we studied. For those of you who have skipped a year, you may not have seen it yet, and so this will be a challenge. But I know that you're up to it. You are the best and brightest scholars in the school. I don't want to waste your time. I'm only sorry that I haven't moved you forward more quickly over the past couple of years. So, on Monday and Tuesday, you'll be reviewing and practicing the cases and endings that you have learned so far from the book, up to chapter 10. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll be practicing reading, explaining in English, and analyzing the grammar of Tullia et Claudia, along with practicing some on-the-spot composition in Latin using the sentence patterns in that story, and hopefully discussing and comparing and contrasting some aspects of ancient Roman hospitality and culture that are taught in that story as well. So, again, on Monday and Tuesday, and these are the skills I want to model for you right now, you're going to practice reciting the names of the noun cases. There are 5 main noun cases, 2 additional cases that aren't used as often but that you need to be aware of. So you'll practice reciting their names in English and in Latin and explaining what each case means. You'll also practice reciting the endings themselves, the first declension endings that you've learned, and you'll practice declining nouns. So you'll see from my examples what those are. So here are the names of the 5 cases in a particular order that I need you to memorize. So you need to memorize not only the names of the cases and what they mean, but also this particular order, so that when you recite your endings, you'll know what endings you're saying as you say them. So these are the names of the cases in English: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. Again, be able to recite them quickly and easily in that order: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. Then, to the end of that, add on also locative and vocative. You've met the locative case, you will meet the vocative case. They're kind of exceptions because they're not used as often, but it is important to go over them and to be aware of them. Also, please learn the names of the cases in Latin so that we can begin to talk about the text and talk about the grammar in Latin as well as in English. So the Latin word for case is casus, casus. And then after that, you add the adjective that describes what case you're talking about: casus nominativus, casus genitivus, casus dativus, casus accusativus, casus ablativus. And then you have casus locativus, casus vocativus. So I want you to memorize the names of the 5 main cases: nominativus, genitivus, dativus, accusativus, ablativus in Latin, and be able to talk about them. So to ask you about the case of a particular noun in a sentence, I would say, qui casus est, and then say the noun. You would respond, casus, and then the adjective you need to describe it. For example, casus nominativus, and then est. That's how you'd reply. So practice asking and answering questions about the cases of nouns in Latin and in English. And then on Monday, you will also be writing down and also reciting the case endings that we've learned so far from the textbook, The Road to Latin. And they go like this: a, I, a, I, aurum, is, as, is, with the alternative plural dative and ablative ending abus, which is rare but important to be aware of. So I'll expect you to be able to recite those endings in order, quickly and easily. Please practice it at home. That's your homework, at least for those first few days, if not for the whole week. Practice reciting those endings until you can do it in your sleep. So again, a, I, a, I, aurum, is, as, is, with abus as the dative and ablative plural ending. And then you're going to decline a noun in your notebook as well as in speech. So you cut the ending off of your nominative form of the noun. For example, nauta, that's sailor in the singular and nominative. Cut the off of it, you have the stem naut. You take that stem and you add all the endings to it, and you write out the forms, so you recite the forms. So to decline the noun nauta orally, you would say nauta, nautai, nautai, nautam, nauta, nautai, nautarum, nautis, nautas, nautis. So you're going to be doing that in your notebook and in speech, as well as perhaps taking a rapid quizzes that I'll set up for you to practice identifying and speaking those endings. So that's going to be your first day, Monday, and Tuesday as well. Tuesday will also be spent on declensions. I want you to make charts in your notebook and for the wall in your little section of the room that has those declension endings on it. And then again, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be spent working with the Tullia et Claudia story. I'll make a video for you with the old drawings. We don't have new drawings yet for those by De Carnavea, but hopefully we will soon. I'll make a video for you with the old drawings, put that up in YouTube for you to watch, but also set up quizzes as based on the video so that you can do some practice with that story as well. What I'd like for you to do at the end of each class period is just check in with me, show me your notebook, so I can see what you've accomplished. Show me anything else you've created, and we'll go over your quizzes, scores, and see what questions you have. Please also feel welcome to give me plenty of feedback. As I set up these lessons for you, I will need to see, to hear from you what is working and what's not. Then, God willing, on Monday and Tuesday of next week, we'll have a little bit of viva voce examination with each of you, so that you'll sit down with me for a few minutes, read some Latin, break it down, parse the grammar, tell me what it means in English, and then show me that you can do some on-the-spot composition, and then we'll be ready to move forward in the textbook, hopefully at a quicker pace than we've been doing so far. Thank you. Gracias.